Welcome to the show, everybody. Joseph Robert Camo, the fantasy football counselor. In this episode, we're talking about 5 running back steals for fantasy football 2021. Running backs that you can get for immense value that could easily crack the top 5 or top 10. Yes, we're talking running back steals. Before we get into this, guys, it's time to make the switch. I switched over to fantrax.com, and I've never looked back for my year-long fantasy football. Totally customizable. I got way more control over what I can do for my year-long fantasy football. Fantrax.com/FFC. Create an account, and you can bring your other accounts, your other leagues, over to Fantrax, guys, okay? So you can easily transfer over your keeper leagues, your dynasty leagues, over to Fantrax and have way more controls in regards to year-long fantasy football. So if you want that 2-quarterback league, you can do it. If you want more points for your tight end, you can do that. If you want to do leagues, if you want to do polls inside your league, you can do that. Fantrax.com/FFC. And if you guys sign up, you're entered automatically to win a Josh Allen signed jersey. So there's a link here below, or go to fantrax.com/FFC. Secondly, guys, manscaped.com. Use promo code ShowerLion. Get yourself a trimmer. Amazing product. Fit and finish is amazing. I'm telling you guys, got the Lawnmower 3.0. Battery life is ridiculous here on here. You got the skin safe technology, navigational light. This is the product that I use, manscaped.com. Use promo code ShowerLion, save yourself 20%. And finally, guys, head on over to thefantasyfootballcounselor.com and get the 16-round draft solution. You will crush your leagues, I assure you. It's like having me at the draft with you. Get 16 rounds right now. All right, so let's get into this, guys. Make sure you guys leave a comment below. I want to get your feedback on this. Tell me what you guys think in regards to 5 players I'm going to mention here, and if you think that they're actually steals in the draft, because I definitely do 150%, and I want to get your feedback. I want to make this super interactive, guys. So make sure also that you guys are leaving a thumbs up and subscribing as well, okay? So the first person right here, right now, is the first steal in drafts, okay? So the thing is, last year, let's talk about it. The first guy I'm talking about is Clyde EdwardsHelaire. This year, he's a steal. And because theoretically, he still is an RB1, okay? He is the RB1 of the team. There's nobody else there that's going to take the volume away from him, period. Like, he should be the guy. Now, the problem is volume. Volume's always an issue. Now, looking at last year, that was a big issue for him, considering he was drafted where? Mid-first round. I warned you. I told you, I do not trust the Chiefs with running backs. But for this year, I mean, I'm getting him for immense value. I'm getting him, like, he is currently, where is he sitting right? He's sitting 16th on the Chiefs' rankings. This is the guy that they promoted. This is the guy that they loved last year. This is the guy that they said, oh, I love this guy. Draft him in the first round. He's like a bowling ball. He's the best thing since sliced bread. Last year, he had, 181 attempts, 803 yards, only 4 touchdowns on the ground, averaging 4.4 yards per carry in 13 games. Is 181 yards appealing? Not really, but I can get this guy as my RB3 this year. He's coming off 3rd or 4th round. So literally, he's a steal based on last year. Okay, so we're just talking top 5 RB steals. Now, again, theoretically, all the guys I'm going to mention here are literally, they are the RB1s on the team theoretically. Now, there could be some modifications and stuff with the one guy, but another guy can come in and take that job, but he's a steal this year. Like, I could walk away with him in the 3rd round and get an RB1. Now, a lot of people are saying, well, Joe, if there's so many you got 5 RB steals here, should I go wide receiver and get these steals later? I still like to get my solid running backs, guys I feel more secure with. These guys are good value, but they're not as warm and fuzzy as some of the other guys that I like in the earlier rounds, okay? Like round 1 or 2. So, yes, these guys could possibly be... Yeah, definitely, these guys could be Clyde EdwardsHelaire. Anything can happen. These guys could be CMC. Clyde EdwardsHelaire could be a CMC, or Dalvin Cook gets hurt again, or Derrick Henry goes down. You never know. These guys could outperform the 5 guys I'm going to mention. But I'm telling you guys, there's steal, and I can get Clyde EdwardsHelaire literally in like the 3rd or 4th round. So that's number 1. Number 2 here, David Montgomery. Now, David Montgomery last year had a great year, finishing 4th amongst running backs, 247 attempts. Now, Tariq Cohen's back, okay? Tariq Cohen's back. Is he going to get the volume? Now, listen, if they want to win, okay, if the Bears want to win, they got to play their best running back, which is David Montgomery. He can get it done in the receiving game as well. 54 receptions, 436 yards, 2 receiving touchdowns. He can get it done in the receiving game. He's way more versatile and a better all-around running back than Tariq Cohen. Tariq Cohen's going to get his line of work. We know Nagy likes Tariq Cohen. But David Montgomery should be the guy. Now, again, 247 attempts last year. I'm expecting it to be in and around the same amount. 230 to 260 is kind of the where I feel he's gonna have in attempts. But 1,070 yards, 8 touchdowns on the ground. Again, I can get this guy third or fourth round. So he is, again, the RB1 on the team on an offense that potentially could look better this year. If Fields takes the field, like, who knows, that it could be a better offense. There are some question marks, but, I just saw a video actually recently with David Montgomery, and he was there with Nagy, and I don't know where it was ranked. I think it was on NFL or one of these sites ranked him, I think, 25th best running back. And he said, well, I'm going to prove them wrong. I've got a chip on my shoulder. So he's super hungry. I know his trainer is saying that David Montgomery, I've talked to him. David Montgomery looks good. He's a hungry guy, right? And he's still young. So David Montgomery, I can get him as a steal this year in drafts and, third or fourth round. Okay. Now currently sitting 18th on the Concheapsis rankings. Okay. So it's crazy. It's just like, it's recency bias, right? But the thing is, a lot of people, they typically copy and paste the mainstream, but for guys like David Montgomery, he's not really a fan favorite. He's not a guy that the Concheapsis really love. They love guys like Austin Eckler or Kenyon Drakes of the world. Now, even though Kenyon Drakes took a huge dip this year, he was a big fan favorite last year. He's not a guy that Concheapsis love, and I think they're going to be wrong on this one. I think I can get him immense value, and he's going to get a good return on investment. David Montgomery. Number 3 here, this one I'm a little suspect about, but James Robinson, currently sitting 32nd on the Concheapsis rankings amongst running backs. I don't really care for James Robinson. I lost a lot of interest in him because of Travis Etienne, and Travis Etienne's actually sitting ahead of him at 25, Robinson 32. And again, I only use the consensus rankings as a guideline to do better, right? I never use this to actually draft. Never listen to mainstream rankings, magazines, four-letter networks, consensus sites, or any, fluffy podcasts to give you analysis and help you, because they just copy and paste and they play it super safe. But James Robinson is immense value. I actually did a money league and got him as my RB4 on my team. Now, here's the deal. Last year had an amazing year. What did he finish? 7th amongst running backs, 1,070 yards, similar to David Montgomery, 5 touchdowns on the ground, averaging 7 touchdowns on the ground, 4.5 yards per carry. That's impressive. So that's pretty good stats for a guy that was an undrafted free agent. 240 attempts. Now, the team is speculating that Etienne is going to be a pass-catching, receiving back. But here's the deal. I got pissed off when he was drafted in the first round because James Robinson can do this on his own. It's such a waste of talent if Etienne comes in and takes that job. But at the end of the day, if there's any integrity left with the Jacksonville Jaguars, which I don't believe there really is, James Robinson could be a steal in the draft because you're getting him for pretty much for free, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th round. He could really fall because people will be off people's radars. But remember, finished 7th last year amongst running backs. And again, he is technically, theoretically, the time it sits right now, the RB1 on the team. Travis Etienne, obviously high draft capital in him. It seems exciting to take him, but you can't ignore a talent that's already proven in James Robinson, a guy that got it done with 240 plus attempts, over 1,000 yards, and he was undrafted, okay? And he can get it done in the receiving game with 49 receptions last year, 344 yards, and 3 touchdowns. So he could literally be the steal of the draft, still could be a workhorse running back. Etienne is obviously going to get worked in, but is Robinson going to see 240 attempts? That's the big question mark. If he does, you're looking at another solid season out of him, and he could be a major steal. Number 4 here, Javonte Williams. I've talked about him. I preached about him. And again, I've got him as my RB4 on a lot of my teams because I go robust RB, and I'm still able to get Javonte Williams for immense value for rounds 4 or 5. Now, again, he's going to be a major steal in drafts as the other guys I mentioned, because again, he could take that starting job from Melvin Gordon. Melvin Gordon, years to wow us were not wowed, right? 1,000-yard rushing season. He's only got 1 under his belt. And if the Broncos actually believed in Melvin Gordon, they would have not acquired Javonte Williams. So Javonte Williams, everything you need in a full workhorse running back. He can catch. He's got power. He's got not high-end, top-end speed, but he's a guy that's got pretty good cutting ability, nose for the end zone, and can break tackles really well. Javonte Williams is the complete package, theoretically, on paper, what we've seen in college, and I like him. Again, sitting 31 amongst running backs could be another steal. Now, make sure you guys do subscribe because I'll be doing sleepers. There's other running backs that I like that, are just sleepers, but these guys are just, I think, are steals, right? You can just steal them for good value, okay? Now, a sleeper, Michael Carter is essentially a sleeper, right? Rookie running back, Jets, sleeper. Javonte could be considered a sleeper as well, but they're also steals and drafts, okay? But I'm just making you aware that for value, these guys are great. So Javonte Williams, number 4. And this guy who's sitting number 21 on the Conchichas rankings is Josh Jacobs. Now, I think a lot of this is predicated on the fact that Kenyon Drake came in. A lot of people are afraid that Kenyon Drake is going to be a threat. I'm going to tell you guys right now, Kenyon Drake is not going to be a threat. Josh Jacobs had 273 attempts last year, 1,065 yards, 3.9 yards per carry. Not the greatest, right? 12 touchdowns. He's still going to be the workhorse guy. Remember, Drake is just getting back to where he was being a backup, which is what he's good at. Last year, the mainstream said, Kenyon Drake this, Kenyon Drake that, second round, first round, end of first round, Kenyon Drake, blah, 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 blah. I said, avoid Kenyon Drake. Years to wow us, we're not wowed. He's a backup. He's not that good. Yet people, Kingsbury, all these Arizona Cardinals fans, everyone's harping on me. Kenyon Drake is good. He's better than David Johnson. He took the job. David Johnson was supposed to be the starter there in Arizona a couple years ago, then Drake last year, and now they're saying Chase Edmonds, screw you, Cardinals. I don't believe anything you say. I'm staying away from all Cardinals running backs. And I'm telling you, Josh Jacobs is still primed for a ton of targets and a ton of attempts and a ton of volume. So you're getting him in and around round 3, which is a steal because this guy theoretically could be end of first round, early second round type of potential here based on volume, opportunity, and the fact that he is the RB1 on his team. So these guys are RB1s on their team with the exception of possibly James Robinson potentially losing that job and Javonte Williams having to earn that job. So there is some question marks there. But I've explained this before. If it's going to lean one way, it's going to lean towards James Robinson, I think, taking that job and James Robinson keeping that job and Javonte Williams taking that job. So I think it's going to, the way it sits right now, it seems like Melvin Gordon's going to start, and I think he is, but I think Javonte is going to take that job. The way that it sits now, I'm feeling that these guys are going to be the RB1s, mid-season at least. So you're going to get some good value. And none of these guys should be your RB1. Not any of these guys. They should at least be your RB3 minimum because I go robust RB, okay? You may get away with some of these guys being your RB2 and giving you that great return on investment, okay? But the way it sits now, fantasy football sleepers, whatever you want to call them, steals, get these guys for good value. They're much better. Clyde EdwardsHelaire in the 3rd or 4th round is a lot more appealing than the top 6 pick last year, mid-first round, right? So great value. They're going to eat. They're going to be producing on the field one way or another. You're going to get some sort of solid return on investment here with these guys, and you don't have to overpay. That's it, guys. Make sure you go to fantrax.com/FFC. Create an account there. You're entered for a signed Josh Jacobs jersey. Smash thumbs up and get 16 rounds, guys. I am out. Hope you enjoyed this mini show here, getting you a lot of content. Now, if you're on YouTube, I'm also doing shorts videos. Lots of mini content coming your way with exclusive videos as well. And make sure you're following on Instagram at Fantasy Football Counselor. I'm out, guys. Thank you. We'll talk soon.